I believe it's the role of a teacher to prepare students for the real world beyond an educational setting. Relaying information to students where they are to memorize it and regurgitate it during an exam is not sufficient pedagogy. It's essential students develop higher order and lateral thinking skills in order to be successful and resilient in this technological age. This can be achieved in the classroom by using a variety of pedagogical approaches, including collaboration, problem, and inquiry-based learning. In a technological age, students gain access to information with the click of a single button through numerous search engines. Thus, it's imperative to go beyond simply memorizing and regurgitating information. Students should be motivated to further their understanding through a series of investigations to answer queries and concerns relating to a particular topic. As Sir Ken Robinson stated, creativity is as important in education as literacy. If students are not challenged and this creativity is not nurtured, it will fade until eventually it ceases to exist. I believe it is part of the role of a teacher to nurture this creativity in a way that encourages students to better their understanding and performance. It's not enough to feed students information through lecture situations and talk and chalk methods. In a society of consistent stimulation, students need to be motivated and interested in the content being presented. I believe the best way to avoid procrastination and distractions in the classroom setting is by setting inquiry and problem-based tasks where students are required in groups to research a particular question, idea, or theory related to the topic that they find interesting. If students choose what it is they wish to learn about and research, they will be more inclined to follow through with the processes and exercise their diverse range of talents. I believe the current outcomes-based approach is not satisfactory in meeting students' needs and providing efficient learners in society. The current model of education is based on achieving outcomes, tested through grades, assessments, and ranks. I believe students should not be ranked against each other, and that the focus of education has steered off the path of where it should be. High school education should be about developing students' critical thinking skills so that they can adapt to any situation, not simply remember information in order to perform well on a standardized test. How can we teach students content and skills for occupations which have not even been thought about? How can we teach students skills in ICT when technology is rapidly changing each day? Thus, I believe the current model of teaching students to simply achieve outcomes will not provide students with the skills needed for future. This is why I believe lateral thinking, collaboration, and inquiry-based learning will enhance students' critical thinking processes that can be applied to any setting. Standardized testing is an extension of the current outcomes-based approach, and thus I believe this hinders students' potential to exercise their creativity and limits students and teachers in the time frame to teach specific topics. Some topics require further depth and research, while others may simply require a brief overview. However, as students are required to be test-ready, teachers are limited with the amount of time spent on each topic, prohibiting extensive research and depth. This is why I believe standardized testing is a hindrance on both students and teachers. The current model of education is based on grades, assessments, and ranks. Students' main focus is on their rank and mark in relation to their peers. Each child performs and develops at a different rate and displays differing talents, interests, and intelligences. If as human beings we're characterized as an individual based on our traits, talents, and interests, why are students tested as though we're all the same? The new national curriculum is supposed to offer students more freedom in making choices about the content they wish to learn. However, outcomes are still to be assessed, and rankings and comparisons with how a student is performing will still occur. The difference is that there is more of an emphasis on the importance of technology, which is needed in schools. However, individuals will not only be compared with other students in their class or even state, but in the whole country. This places even more stress and pressure on students to perform well in a standardized test. Though I believe self-assessment is imperative in order to determine if progress and achievement have improved, I strongly believe students should not be tested against each other. I pose the following process in undertaking a topic to ensure the highest level of achievement and progress is met. 1. An initial test should be undertaken to determine a student's prior knowledge and any questions, concerns, or interesting factors in the topic. Next, a series of inquiry and problem-based collaborative tasks will be set to develop higher-order thinking processes, where students are required to present their findings in a creative way. Finally, a test or task will be required of students to complete to demonstrate their understanding of what they have learnt during the topic. This will be reviewed against the student's individual initial test scores in order to determine individual progress. In the teaching area of religious education, it's essential students develop a respect and understanding for not only their own religion, but all religious beliefs. I believe that the best pedagogical approach to take in order to encourage higher order thinking skills to occur is inquiry and problem-based learning. Religion is a controversial topic, and allowing students to research different beliefs on the same issue will allow them to come to a better understanding of how faith is personal and individualistic. A specific example is in regards to answering the fundamental question of how we came into being and how the world was created. By allowing students to conduct research on multiple religious beliefs on how we came into existence will further students' understanding on how faith is subjective. Encouraging students to work collaboratively will ensure a multitude of talents and intelligences are utilized, allowing for creativity to thrive and flourish. In conclusion, I believe it is essential for students to be taught critical thinking skills through collaborative learning and inquiry and problem-based pedagogical approaches in order to produce a student ready to deal with anything the 21st century has to throw at them.